talking about the far right. Can someone define far right to me, please?
The old politics.
Matt, can you define far right?
Matt's one of the experts on that very thing.
Right, yeah.
There are two key things that far-right groups share. Okay, firstly, they reject or they undermine what representative liberal democracy is all about. Now, a liberal representative democracy accepts that a plurality of views is legitimate. We should support those views. We should allow those views. Okay, and I think what many people would feel is that your organisation and the way in which you campaign is automatically discounting the views of Muslims and the rights of Muslims to hold those views. But secondly, what far-right groups share, I mean, I'm sure you would say you're not the same organisation as, say, I don't know, the American Nazi Party, right? There's a lot of variation within those parties. Hold on. Yeah. But what they also share, ultimately, is a rejection of human equality. And I would guess that many people who are watching the show would feel that your organisation is no longer talking about militant Islam. You're just talking about Muslims.
You get lots of media coverage. There's not actually many of them. Most of them are online on Facebook and on forums and all the rest of it. They can't really get more than 400 or 500 people out in the streets. Look at the BNP in the UK. Polls, what, 1%, 2%, and look what happens across the rest of Europe. In France, the Front National are polling at 20%.
This is really key, isn't it? Matt, there never really has been, mostly in the 30s, had a sort of brief shining moment, if you want to call it that, but nothing much beyond that. There's been no tradition of electoral success in this country for far-right parties, hasn't there?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, a lot of that has to do with the system that we have. I mean, we are just as concerned as our European neighbours about the core far-right issues, and I don't think those issues should be dismissed or discounted. I think those issues need to be talked about, and that is probably the only point of convergence that you and I would have. But I would also say, in Britain particularly, because of the failure of parties like the BNP and before the BNP, the National Front, we've tended to be extra dismissive about the far right. We've dismissed supporters of the far right as a lunatic fringe who don't deserve to have their grievances talked about, and I don't necessarily think that's...
Because we're far right.